All right, hello parachute makers, here we go. So there's going to be a couple things we're going to try to do to make sure that our thing is ready for 3D printing. Now, if you have a regular size character, you're going to make that 65 millimeters tall. If it's a oversized where it's wide, then it's going to be around 45 millimeters tall. So let me show you how to do that. I don't count the ring, so you can actually just move the ring out, then grab your ball here, and then we're going to pull, and then we're going to go ahead and hold down the shift key and just shrink it down, make it more narrow. Holding down shift key, going down to 45. Okay. Now all characters need to have some type of flat bottom because if it was round, it's going to roll. It's not going to print as well. So right here you can see that I inserted a cylinder shape. I made it a hole. It looked like this before. And then made it a hole. And then we're going to use that to trim off the bottom. So I'm just going to highlight that. Control G or group. And there. And it trimmed off the bottom, so now this thing will sit flat. Then I can take my ring, and this is the only ring I want you to use, which is the blue ring. We're going to go ahead and insert that into our character and bring that up just a little bit. I like to have it about halfway into the character. All right, the next thing I want you to check is there any floating shapes? Now, pretend like you're a little fly, and you're going to zoom all around your character to see if there's anything floating in the air. The 3D printer can't print anything that's floating. So I'm going to first go look underneath the platform here. That's a common place where people end up having things float. See how it's floating? Can we print in the air? No, we can't. So we're going to bring that whole thing down. I'm going to go to the cone. There it is. And I'm going to push this down until that says 0. Now notice that I do have a platform on this guy. I want you guys to add a platform to your character as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and look behind him, and look at that. You guys see that? His eyes and his mustache are not even attached to his face. Very, very common problem. And if you do that, it will just be a pile of string on the ground. So I'm going to take his eyes and I'm going to push them back into his head. I like to pretend like it's clay, and I'm pushing all these pieces into the clay figure. Check his size real quick. His size is 65, so he is correct. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom way out and see if I have any floating shapes that are just floating out in space. I want to get rid of those. Like this, I'm going to circle around, and oh, I have 2 floating shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and select those. I'm going to hit delete. Now, the problem is if you have a floating shape out here, it's going to lock this way out here to this right here, and it's going to say it's unprintable when we put it into our slicer program. So you need to make sure all those extra shapes are gone. All right, so for this, I'm going to set up my little guy here for printing. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this and get this guy ready here for printing. So the next step here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the export button, click on export. It says for 3D print. I'm going to use the STL option. And it's loading here, and it's going to get our ball ready to print and to export. All right, now that's finally loaded, we're going to go ahead and click on the download. I'm going to open up this. This means I'm trying to open up in some program. I'm going to just open up the folder so I can see it. And now I can transfer it. So I'm going to right mouse click that. I'm going to hit copy, which is this little button right here. Then I'm going to go to a special drive on the computer. This one's called the T homework drive. Then I'm going to go to the Rogers folder. Then I'm going to go to where it says December 12th, 6th grade, period 2. And I will insert it in here by just right mouse clicking. and then I'm going to go to the paste feature, and there's my file folder. And now I, Mr. Rogers, will be able to get to your project, and I'll be able to print it. And that's all there is to it.